This is Abe Friedhanser from cinemadailyus.com, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with Mathieu Amalric and Vicky Krieps about their new film, Hold Me Tight. How are you both doing today?
I'm good. You, Mathieu?
I'm very good.
So, can you tell me how you first reacted when you read this play, Mathieu?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was a play that was never performed, in fact, and a friend wanted to do it. And he had to say goodbye to that project. He gave me that book, and I just cried in a train, with hiding myself. A nerve had been touched. I didn't know which one yet.
And you saw it as a film rather than a play?
No, there it was just an explosion of crying, remembering something. I still don't know exactly what. And that I hope, it would be a field wide enough to explore for the energy that a film demands,
Of course. And Vicky, what appealed to you about it?
It was the same. He gave me the theater play first, Mathieu, and I took it and I sat in Little Crêperie, I think, and I immediately read it. And what was it for me? I think it was the whole, because even if the play is different, I think it was the whole idea of creating a world that you see as to be true, which is not true, which is basically cinema or a theater, we create worlds. But if someone would go so far and create this world inside his own mind, her own mind, in order to protect herself from reality is something I never even thought about.
And I'm sure that was a very challenging role to portray. What could you relate to in Clarisse?
Too much. No, a lot. I mean, I have 2 children, so I made sure to stay out of I don't know what technique this is, but there's a technique when you think about the thing so that you cry, So I definitely did not think about my children ever. If anything, I tried to think I don't have kids, which in her world makes sense, that you think of something not to be true. But of course I could relate to it. So it was very fast, I have children, so I don't have to even think long to know what it would be like. But it was so terrible. I think it was the same for Mathieu, and our communication often stayed, the way we were talking was like talking on the verge, like on the outskirt, just on the edge of what we are actually talking about, because it's so terrible. We didn't even want to go in, and I even didn't want to go in. I only saved it for the few moments in the film where I had to go in, and for the rest it was like tiptoeing around what I know is true of this woman.
Do you think that this is a difficult film for parents to see, or one you would recommend to them anyway?
No, but what Vicky is saying, it remembers me how I would protect myself. Like if my job was to find gestures, energy, space, the words of the play would disappear more and more, replaced or by music or by a gesture or objects. And I think that's the verge that Vicky is describing, this space. And to try so technically that we would do it as little as possible, as little takes as possible, and to create also something like the paintings of Robert Bechtle, a moment of hyperrealism. So to do long takes, and to dive into space.
If I can jump in, because this is something I think Mathieu was doing, and maybe he couldn't see it from the outside, but I saw it. is that he actually managed to create a very lively family. It's almost like eine Ode an, how do you say this in English? An ode to family. So I would say yes, it's a movie for parents, because I remember sometimes coming to set and it was not me acting, you know, it was all about the children, the house, the music. And then I cried, but happy tears, because I was so moved of how well Mathieu captured what family means. I think I've never ever been so close to someone who was able to really, I don't know, visualize and even make it come alive, you know, the idea of family, like everything in the movie, you know, how he describes in the script and the writing, you know, how it's described, you know, and then we will have pizza and then it will be Sunday, and then, or how the little things are actually the big things. And oftentimes we realize when it's gone. But the movie manages, I think, to really celebrate family in a great way. So I would say it's a film for parents to see.
Do you agree, Mathieu?
Yes, I do. I do, because it learns to what remembers what you can easily forget in the biggest adventure of life, that is couple and children, having children, is that the love is there, and you just forget it.
Yeah.
And you know, for them, it's strange. We are talking right now, and I'm thinking, in fact, I'm on the road right now in a van with my 3 boys, and I mean, it's amazing. We arrived, and I had to find a place with Wi-Fi, you know. So I said, let's go to see my uncle, and that's the place where the family burial is, Amalric family burial. And there's my little brother who died, who was there. And I'm with my 3 kids going there. And we said, what about doing, we were hungry. So we did some food in the camping car near my brother. And I don't know, it's like, yeah, that's, I think, what this film can sort of remember, those things.
Yes, I agree. Have you been surprised by any of the reactions by audiences at Cannes or other festivals or released in France?
Oh, yes. Yes, because when the film was released, it was the moment where the cinema opened in France. So I really wanted to be in the cinemas with all this structure that is so precious in France, and that is having now more difficult time with the new habits. And so I spent, almost 2.5 months, 3 months going from one cinema to another. It was very, very, very strong. And I can tell you what Vicky felt. Yes, it's for parents. It's for people who went through tragedies, because they were like, this film, I'm going to use her recipe. Or, oh, I'm not crazy, in fact. I do the same thing. I thought I had to be ashamed of using craziness or delirium to be able to put one foot in front of another. In fact, they felt in a sort of community. Yeah, that's what it was really beautiful. Yeah, even in Finland, and yeah. That's why I'm so excited to show that the film is opening in the States. I mean, it's really a chance that we know how difficult it is for films to open right now. It's an honor.
And do you think that audiences are happy about the sort of payoff of the sort of confusing nature of it, the fact they don't know exactly what's going on? Is that a process they seem to enjoy following?
It seems to be, yes. And they all tell their own story. Some do the same path than Clarisse, than Vicky, in what she said, this thing about the gesture, the beautiful gesture of imagination. And some continue in the denial and just blast at the end. There is everything. Some feel it immediately. It depends.
Yeah.
Some love to see it twice also.
And Vicky, I know you've had a few roles recently, some films like Bergman Island and Old. How has the experience of working with Mathieu been different from those projects?
Well, it's a difficult question. I mean, it's every work is different. It's like meeting, it's like dancing, you know. You never dance the same with a different person. It's impossible. So every movie is different, every director is different. But I think what was special with Mathieu, and I think it's maybe because we are similar minds or also because of the nature of the project, but what I told you at first is that we almost didn't speak, which even now when I think about it is weird. Like from the minute, today I was cleaning my house and I found the stick you gave me. And all I had written on the stick myself was, it said, Monsieur A. Because for a long time, Mathieu was for me Monsieur A. I don't know why, just because there was so little communication. It was like this person I knew I just knew we would know how to talk, but not knowing him really. And I never met him before. I didn't even see the first thing I did was I watched all his movies and I was, you know, ashamed I hadn't known them and I was amazed at what I saw. But then when we worked, we almost didn't talk. It was really like telepathy or something. So all I can say was very special.
Yeah.
And Mathieu, I knew you originally, I'm sure as most did, as an actor. I remember A Christmas Tale as I think the first big film of yours that I saw, which I still love. Do you find that it's very different? You're a different person going in as a director rather than an actor?
Well, you know, I started as a technician when I was 17. And so I always made films. And then acting arrived a bit later by Arnaud Desplechin, who invented me as an actor. And for instance, on this film, I really thank him to have me go through this manual job of acting, because the telepathy that Vicky is talking about, I think if I hadn't experience what it is to go through a frame, a space, gestures, you know, that's what I was telling you, to invent an energy, a thought. I don't know. So it's not even a thought. I don't know. A thought like a fire or something. I wouldn't have been able to have met Vicky.
I think it's even more than that, Mathieu. I think it's yes, I think so. But I've met other actors who became directors, and there's something else. And I think it's to do with trust, because you are able to trust very few people nowadays, or maybe since always, are able to trust, because trusting is crazy. And I think you are as crazy as I am. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because yes, there are directors who have been actors, and it's always easier, and it always leads to less communication. But the way we were not talking is actually crazy. Again.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think you're maybe one of the only directors I met, maybe PTA, but who, you know, it is crazy to trust. Like, it's a huge risk. Who am I trusting this woman leading my movie? You know, what if I'm, you know, completely egomaniac and I don't know, I play Clarisse like upside down something.
Yeah.
But you did trust me, and that's the most beautiful gift you could have made me.
There's a space that we have in common where yeah, let's dive together. We don't know where, but we're gonna dive somewhere. There has been work we had prepared. We know that we work a lot also. We trust each other because there's the person has prepared something.
Yeah.
So there is that. And then there was also something very special on this film, is that because of the story, we needed to shoot during 1.5 years in 3 times, because we started by the spring and then the mountain needed snow. And between the spring and the snow, there was the autumn. So there were 3 shooting with editing between. And that also brought us a lot of lightness, because we started by the spring, so by the end, so by the dead, by the reality. So reality was done. We didn't have to respect it anymore. That's also something that can change it from the order in which it's shot. Yeah. If we had finished by reality, maybe we would have been more religious, more respectful of death. There it went in the contrary towards the humor of Clarisse, the love of her imagination, and she's going to be okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, for more great content like this, you can subscribe to the Cinema de l'Ouest YouTube channel. Hold Me Tight opens in New York on September 9th, and LA on September 16th. Merci beaucoup, Mathieu and Vicky. This is really wonderful to be able to speak with both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.